Thank you, Commissioner Burke. Commissioner Blank?
So I'm a little surprised that no other commissioner has asked the staff about this, what I'll call the Zapruder film, about the video of the 8-foot high fill pile. Does staff believe there was an 8-foot high fill pile at the time of that videotape?
Commissioner, through the chair, yes, we certainly do.
Great. Thank you. What is staff's opinion of what happened to that 8-foot fill pile in the last 2 years? Is it still there, or has it been moved somewhere else?
I think it's safe to say that it's been moved somewhere else.
Great. So let me keep going. Does staff have an opinion, given the topological slides you've showed us, which at least to me seems to show the ground growing in altitude where the fill pile has ended up?
I think that it is a reasonable hypothesis that that fill has been spread out across the fields as a result of the farming practices.
Okay. So let me share my thinking with Commissioner Burke and the rest of the commission, at least how I'm thinking about what is a battle of the rocket scientists here, and the way I'm parsing all this data. And just to remind the audience, while this is the Boca Chica ecosystem, at least how I think of what I'm doing up here as a commissioner is using the Coastal Act, coastal regulations, today's testimony to educate between the applicants, the appellants, and the staff recommendation. And I have to take all the data, all the testimony, and try to sort out how this works with the Coastal Act and regs. And my first question that I have to answer for me was whether there was normal farming activities that were occurring as allowed by law, and I think we all understand that farming is allowed, and mechanical devices are allowed, or was this really a grading problem occurring for development using farming as a cover? That is, was this noncompliance or was it farming? And there's, as we heard, and we have plenty of paper from the Farm Bureau, that there's plenty of definition in U.S. EPA, Federal Clean Water Act, and Farm Bureau guidance about mechanical means of manipulating the soil. And there's no specific written staff guidelines from the coastal staff or regulations in the Coastal Act that helps us define what is normal farming. So I'll just defer to the Farm Bureau, U.S. EPA, et cetera. But I was struggling to figure out how the entire site seemed to grow in height over the years, and staff seemed to confirm that it wasn't until I saw the photo of the 8-foot fill site that appears no longer to be there, that it's this distribution of fill evenly spread over the site that seems to exceed even the most extreme Farm Bureau concerns. So I believe there is evidence of unpermitted fill past normal farming practice in the area of WP. So question 2 for me, as I told both the applicant and the appellants in ex parte, that one of my criteria whether I support this current staff report is whether there's new evidence to support the EPA wetland definition. That is there new information between the May staff report and the November staff report about whether EPA is really a wetland or not? And I really came in here confused, and here I believe the evidence is still ambiguous of what there is now, and the experts disagree about what guidelines to use, 7 or 14 days. I'm not absolutely certain we could agree what was there 25 years ago, but given the staff's contention that EPA wetlands would exist here when farming would cease, and giving the filling of what might have been wetlands elsewhere on the site, and the topographic evidence of height increase over the site, I'll give staff my agreement on this one as well. My third question for me was there evidence to support the WP wetland and buffer in the May staff report and the one here in November? And again, because of this fill, I believe there was evidence to fill something in the WP area. And then finally, is there evidence to support the Northern Grove buffer for birds in both the May and the November staff report? And I think Commissioner Wan and, of course, Sea and Sage Audubon and Peter Bloom did a good job on that analysis, and I agree with the staff's analysis on the raptor buffers. So for Commissioner Burke, that's at least my thinking on how I'm thinking about it. That pile of dirt was my, smoking gun.